Hello everybody, I hope you're having a good December, whether or not you celebrate anything at this time of year. I hope it's going well for you. Anyway, straight into today's topic, which is reptilian shapeshifters. Now, first thing that probably comes to mind is David Icke and his work. And I don't know if any of you who are watching this have ever actually gone any further than the words reptilian shapeshifter, but when you actually have enough curiosity to go and see, well, what the hell is he talking about? How the hell is that possible? Is he completely bonkers? Or not? If you've got enough curiosity to look into it, you will understand from his explanation how it could be possible. I'm not ruling it out as actually physical reptilian aliens disguising themselves as humans by means of some sort of mind controlling technology, whether it be their own natural gifts to be able to do that, or whether that actually be a physical piece of technology. Who knows? I'm not ruling it out completely. I'm just saying that I'm not disbelieving people who say they've seen this, although I think the vast majority of these incidents can be debunked. And I'm not saying either that there are even any that are genuine. I do not know. I'm just offering my interpretation of what they could be seeing if they are seeing something, and also I want to offer the interpretation of the information, because whether or not people see things, the whole reptilian notion is there for a reason, and I want to try and explain that, how I think this has come about. Now, if we are to say that reptilian shapeshifters do exist, hypothetically, what I think they actually really are psychopaths and archons intertwined, because they do have a symbiotic relationship. Now, archons, when I talk about archons, I talk about them with regards to the Sophianic creation myth. Now, if you're not familiar with that, I'll give you a very quick brief outline as to how the archons came into being, but I would really seriously recommend that you look into that for yourself if you haven't already done so. And what the archons actually are is they were like a byproduct of Sophia's fall from the pleroma, which is the heart of the galaxy. It's the center of the galaxy where the Aeons live, the creators of worlds. Now, she conceived us, our blueprint, if you like, Anthropos, with a consort whose name I cannot remember right now, and then it was just sent out into this arm of the galaxy, and it was seeded there to evolve into us. But then she did, as I said, she fell from the pleroma and she actually became Earth. But that's a whole other story. And during her fall, the archons came into being, because this wasn't supposed to happen, you see. She wasn't supposed to come out of the pleroma. But as I said, that's another story. So these archons came into being by accident. They were not conceived in the pleroma. They did not have a father. They are non-physical. And of course, they don't have this divine spark. And the same as we do. They do not have the gift of creation, of compassion, of empathy, and all these things that make us human. And they are jealous. They are jealous. And they were described by the Gnostics who told us about them. Although they are non-physical and they cannot survive on this earth, they can appear to people on the earth for a very short space of time, as they do, because they obviously want to interfere, and they're doing so very well and for quite some time now. But anyway, so they can appear to people as angels, as saints and divine creatures, or characters, as I prefer to call them, because they are mythological characters. They can appear to people in pretty much any form, but there's, according to the Gnostics, their natural form is one of two: either the aborted or miscarried fetus, so an unborn fetus, which John Lash, who wrote that excellent book, Not in His Image, which is a must read if you're curious about this. He says that that's basically what we would call greys. That's his theory on this. And I would say, yes, it is very likely that they would compare that to greys. And the other is a humanoid reptilian form. And their king, Yaldabaoth, who is the demented demiurge who is behind the Abrahamic religions, that bastard with mother issues, he apparently is a humanoid reptilian with some traits of a lion. Now, all these physical descriptions, I think we must read more into them, because the Gnostics weren't kind of like straight up kind of people. They talked in riddles and levels of coding, and I mean, apparently the Nag Hammadi codices were a real bitch to unravel. They were really, they just seemed to make no sense. And I will say that John Nash has done a really good job, although I would go one step further from what he's done and say that even these descriptions of what their supposed natural state, in other words, their true nature is, I think this is symbolic. And I think the fact that, and I think also when you have visions, anybody has visions, it's a shift in perception, and I've had visions before, and they're always symbolic, they're never literal, So I think also these descriptions could be genuinely what people have seen, or they could be yet again the Gnostics using imagery this time to convey the true nature of these beings. And I think, for example, let's start off with the grey alien, the unborn fetus thing. It's unfinished. It's unevolved. It's a mistake, almost. I mean, because I imagine that back in the day it was more sort of like miscarried rather than aborted. I mean, aborted probably mean natural abortion, nature. I know that back in the pagan days they did have plants that could bring about abortions. Provoked miscarriages, more like. But it basically means that unwanted. A mistake, unfinished, unevolved, and I think that's what they were. That's what they are as well. That's one side of them. Again, the whole unevolved thing carries through on into the reptilian. The reptilian is the reptilian brain is the most basic part of our brains. It's the most primitive part. And it is predatory as well. It's the predatory thing. It's the survival of the fittest, this Darwinian thing going on there. So you've got so we've got them described as a mistake. We've got them described as unwanted. We've got them described as primitive. We've got them described as predatory. And I would say even that also the reptilian side is to say how sneaky and how untrustworthy they are. I mean, the snake in the grass, and the lion thing, and the last thing is the lion's traits that their king has. I would say that's just a symbol of royalty and of pride. I'm the chief, and he's so fucking arrogant and proud and everything, and I think that's about that. So anyway, that's what I think this is all about. And so, as I referred to a short time ago, as I said, I was talking about visions, and I think that's what this is. I think these are visions triggered by the presence of a psychopath who is in this symbiotic relationship with the archons, these non-physical entities, and that's what I think it is. Basically, if anybody has truly seen what they could perceive to be a reptilian shapeshifter shift before their eyes, I really do think it is a question of a vision triggered by the presence of this, a shift in perception on their part. Perhaps they have, I don't know, perhaps there is something more, perhaps complex, more that comes from the actual psychopath that has triggered this vision. I don't know, but I think if you want to understand it, I think that's the path to go down. I haven't got the whole answer, but I think my theory is pretty darn good, personally. And I think that from what I've heard about what David Icke's saying, I think he probably would agree. I'd be interested to know, actually. But anywho, that's what I think it's all about. That's what I think the truth is about reptilians and shapeshifting and whatnot, is basically the truth of the symbiotic relationship between psychopaths and the archons. And I don't think psychopaths would have come into power without the help of the archons. I don't. I think that their support has helped them. And I also think that we are part responsible to an extent. But yeah, we have been manipulated so badly over such a long time. I think that in any case, I don't really, honestly, I don't think it really matters whether we're really to blame for all of this, or whether it be in part or entirely. What has happened has happened, but I do think we need to accept responsibility for righting the wrong and for setting things straight and for getting rid of the psychopaths, and getting rid of everything that is feeding these archons and the psychopaths. And I think we can do it. I think we can. One last thing I wanted to say is, it may seem overwhelming that these non-physical entities and these psychopaths are running the show, and you may think that they're invincible. But why have they been hiding themselves for so long? Why have they been doing it in secret for so long? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because they need our consent en masse to be able to get away with it, basically. Otherwise, they wouldn't have bothered wasting their energy in hiding themselves. And okay, it seems that they're hiding themselves less and less. Is it because they're so confident they can get away with it? Perhaps in part because people are so darn stupid and in denial. And a lot of people are so far gone, it's tragic. But on the other hand, they could be just panicking because a lot of people are waking up to the BS and the way we've been manipulated and whatnot. And it is, slowly but surely, it's coming out. The truth is coming out and people are starting to see it. Is it too late? I don't know. And to be honest, that doesn't change anything for me, whether it be too late or not. I'm still going to open my mouth and say what I think. I'm still going to post things on the internet. I'm still going to believe in what I believe. And I do believe in humanity still. But that doesn't mean I think everything's going to be alright one day. I'm not sure. I don't know. Nobody does. But I still believe we've got a chance. So we just got to keep on going. Anyway, I'll stop waffling now. Thanks for listening. Speak to you soon.